Well, folks, there's a couple of videos this week in addition to the reminders video, and I really need you to make sure that you watch both of them as real time as it is here as I sit in my office. I just got through recording the project instructions video, but associated with that is the project concept video, and that's what I want to talk about in this video. The other one was fairly long, probably 20 some odd minutes. I didn't bother to look at the time on it. This one's going to be shorter. This is designed to go with the project concept assignment in our assessments part of our class. I'm gonna, as is often the case, I'm gonna share my screen. I'm gonna show you the instructions, and then I'm gonna show you the rubric, and I'm gonna talk about what the purpose is of this and what we're trying to accomplish with this. So let's share screen here and go to the instructions. What this project is just a quick thumbnail overview of what you're gonna do in your project, and the purpose is really to get you to think about what happened and to be able to express why HR is important in this setting. If you can't do this project real well, this particular assignment anyway, you're going to want to think about a different topic for your team project itself. So the concept assignment is only worth 25 points, and that's only 5% of your final grade. So I mean, realistically, you could even not turn this in and still get an A in the class. But this is, as you see, is designed to give me an overview of what you're going to be doing. Every one of you will turn this in. So you probably want to talk about it as you're researching your project and think about what the wording looks like. You don't necessarily all have to turn in the exact same thing, but because you're all working on the same project, it probably ought to be similar. In fact, it's probably better if it's not. If you don't have a situation where one person writes it and then sends it to everybody and you submit the exact same thing, I'd rather it be in your own words. What I'm looking for is a short, maybe one page. I don't care if it's Calibri or Times New Roman. I don't care if it's double spaced or whatever, but I'm just looking for a couple of paragraphs on one page. And you can even paste that into the text submission box. I think that's the way I set it up. I'm going to go check that in just a second, and if it's not the way I set it up, I'm going to change it to where it's the text box. The first section, there's three main sections. The first section is a little bit about the company that you decide to do your project on. Tell me about the company itself, and tell me if the project or the problem that you're going to learn about in the project instructions video affects the entire corporation, if it's just headquarters, if it's the Atlanta division of this national thing, but really pinpoint where in the organization this problem exists and what level of HR is going to be working on it. So brief information on the company, what division it is, location it is, whatever. It may not be more than a couple of sentences, but give me an idea in general of who we're talking about here. Section 2 kind of gets into what the problem is, and you'll learn a lot more about that in the project instructions video. But this is several paragraphs probably where you give me a quick history of what has happened to create this problem that your team is going to try to solve. All right. Section number 3, in the project, you're actually going to propose a solution, but in the concept assignment, you're not going that far yet. You're just telling me who this is that has a problem. You're giving me a little background as to what the problem is. And then in section number 3, as you see, you're going to tell me why HR is the one who needs to solve the problem. A big part, or at least a part, 5 points out of 100, in the grading of the project is that it's very clear that HR is the one that needs to be handling this. And you're going to kind of justify that in this particular paper, in the concept assignment paper, project concept paper. So section 3 is, why is HR doing this as opposed to marketing or as opposed to legal or whatever? Why is HR involved? You should be able to justify that you as the HR team at this company are stepping in and taking control of this thing to try to create a different outcome. So brief information about the company, several paragraphs that talk about what the problem is and how we got to where we are, and then a couple of paragraphs maybe where you say, this is why this is a good project. This is why HR is involved for these reasons, okay? So that is the instructions part of it. Let's go and take a look at the rubric. It's only 25 points. 5 points, I'm very clear on who this is, on what level this is, whether it's corporate or a small piece of it. It's not Pizza Hut as a corporation, but it's the Americus Georgia Pizza Hut location, whatever it is. 10 points background. Those couple of paragraphs where you tell me what happened. I'm very clear on what the problem was. And then 10 points on how well you justify that HR is the one that needs to solve this problem. So hopefully that 25 points is easy. It's not going to be very difficult. You might get together as a team once you settle on the company and say, just so we're kind of all on the same page, what's the basic issue? Why is HR involved? And then you go back to your little dorm room or your little den and you write up your own version of that. So the content is similar to what everybody else in your team is submitting, but the wording's a little different. I can read a different variation of it based on your flavor or your writing style. So that's the concept assignment, the project concept. The other video is going to tell you much more in depth about the project itself. So you take these two together. This one you're going to do first. The project, trying to look at my other screen with my notes on it, the project concept is going to be due on April the 4th, and the project itself is going to be due on May the 9th. So as I'm recording this, you've got a little more than a month to do the project concept, and you got a couple of months to do the project. Do a great job on this concept. Really illustrate, demonstrate that you can get to the heart of a problem and you can justify why HR should be involved in it. And then when it comes to the project, you're going to demonstrate that you can propose a solution that's going to make a difference. As I said in the other video, I hope that this project is really going to give you a good flavor for what it's like to be HR and give you an appreciation for the value that they can add strategically in the circumstances where something's going wrong. Not so much in the sense of organizational goals or strategies or things like that, but that HR can step in and correct a problem before it gets too bad. All right, hope that tells you what you need to know for the project concept assignment, and you can start spinning your wheels in your teams trying to figure out what it is that you're going to do for this project. Hope it's fun. Bye for now.